What's going on, weirdos? And happy WrestleMania weekend. It's your man Shane Kid Walker here with Hollyweird TV, bringing you all yet another video. As I mentioned in the last video, we're going to be releasing two videos to coincide with this year's WrestleMania 37 in Tampa, Florida. Yes, we here at Hollyweird love ourselves some wrestling, and we are sending out good luck wishes to all of those involved with this weekend's supercard, as well as a congratulations to those who were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this past Tuesday. Now that that's out of the way, we have a countdown to finish. Today, we're going to be taking a look at numbers 60 to 51 on the list of the greatest films of all time. As always here at Hollyweird TV, we place timestamps, or in the modern case, chapters, in the description below so that you, the viewer, could control the video and skip ahead as you see fit. Without further ado, let's continue the countdown. Number 60, Fresh. This film takes a look at street knowledge. There's a kid looking to save himself and his drug-addicted sister from the dangers of their neighborhood. Having honed his skills in critical thinking from his father, Fresh begins a plot to turn drug lords against each other. Jake, who's cocky and trigger-happy, kills a kid after he beats him in a basketball game. Chucky, who's Fresh's best friend, is killed after a confrontation with Corky's men. After Corky kills Jake and Red, Fresh gives up James as a conspirator. He also gives up James to Esteban, who in retaliation sets up a hit killing Corky, his men, as well as James. Later, the police are responding to a domestic violence call. They arrive at Esteban's house. Fresh plants drugs under his bed. The cops find the drugs and the gun used to kill James and the others and have Esteban arrested. The film stars Sean Nelson, Samuel L. Jackson, and Giancarlo Esposito. As of 2020, Fresh holds an incredible 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. Fresh won the Filmmakers Trophy at the 1994 Sundance Film Festival. Sean Nelson took home an Independent Spirit Award for Best Debut Performance. Number 59, John Wick Chapter 2. Here we go talking about sequels again. I'm going to touch the bases here as you all have to see this film to believe it. Basically, it's a follow-up to the 2014's John Wick, and in my opinion, the best of the series so far. After turning down Santino's demand, John's house is destroyed. John heads to the Continental Hotel, which is a neutral ground, where he is reminded by Winston that if he rejects the marker, then he is in violation of the underground rules. Santino, hiding behind technicalities, orders John to assassinate his sister Gianna so that he could have her seat at the high table for himself. After locating her at a coronation, she opts to commit suicide by slitting her wrist. John still has an obligation, so he shoots her in the head. John then kills all of Santino's henchmen. Santino opens a contract worth $7 million on John's head. After killing more henchmen, John kills Santino in the sanctuary of the Continental Hotel. Big no-no. John Wick Chapter 2 stars Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, Ricardo Scamarcio, and Common. As of 2020, the film holds an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 58, The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, although this isn't Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield did hold his own in the series reboot. Once again, we meet Peter Parker, a teenager struggling to find his place in the world. When he was young, Peter's parents went missing. Peter's now in high school and is bullied, because of course he is, by Flash. Y'all know the story. He stumbles across papers from his father's past, and it is revealed that his father worked with Dr. Connors. Realizing that it was in the work of cross-species genetics, Peter sets out for Oscorp. He's then bitten by a spider, which gives him spider-like abilities. You guys know where I'm going with this. He then begins to help Connors in his experiments. When Peter's only 2 cents short on milk, the cashier refuses to let him buy it. A thief suddenly robs the place and Peter refuses to stop him. Shortly after, Uncle Ben is found dead on the sidewalk. After successfully testing the rejuvenation serum on mice, Dr. Rather demands that it be tested on humans. Dr. Connors declines and is fired as a result. Connors tries the serum on himself and wakes up to see his arm is back. But his skin is now green and scaly. Peter soon fights the lizard. The lizard kills Captain Stacy. Gwen makes an antidote to reverse the effects and Connors is arrested. The film stars the aforementioned Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, and Dennis Leary. As of 2020, The Amazing Spider-Man holds a 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 57, Blade. Now, before we start the Mahershala Ali era of Blade, let's pay homage to the OG Wesley Snipes for making all of this possible. The film begins in 1967 when a pregnant woman is brutally attacked by a vampire. The baby lives, but the woman dies. The The baby turns out to be Blade, a human-vampire hybrid that has all the supernatural abilities of vampires, but none of their weaknesses. Blade attacks a rave club owned by Deacon Frost, who is also a vampire. One of the vampires kills Dr. Curtis Webb and feeds on Karen Jensen, a hematologist. Frost, who's not a naturally born vampire, is belittled, but kills an elder and takes their role of authority. Later, it is discovered that Frost needs Blade's blood to awaken the blood god Lamagra. Krieger, who was interrogated by Blade, dies at the hands of Frost. Blade realizes that his mother was still alive and that Frost was the biter. Karen is thrown into a pit and is devoured by Webb, but injures him and escapes. Blade is drained of his blood, but drinks from Karen. After Frost obtains the powers of Lamagra, he and Blade have a fight where Blade injects him with the EDTA, causing him to explode. The film stars the aforementioned Wesley Snipes, N. Bush Wright, Stephen Dorff, and Chris Christopherson. Blade holds a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes, citing mixed reviews. However, it made a killing in the box office, earning back triple of its budget, $131 million. Number 56, The Matrix. In a hotel in the big city, police corner a woman named Trinity. It's revealed that she has superhuman powers and easily dispatches them. Thomas Anderson, who is a computer programmer, goes by the alias of Neo. He feels something isn't right and is confused by the online encounters with the words The Matrix. Trinity contacts him and tells him Morpheus is the guy he has to talk to. Morpheus tries to help Neo via telephone. Neo is captured and convinced to help track down Morpheus, who's labeled as a terrorist. Turns out, Neo is the One, a powerful human being who is destined to free humanity and end the war between man and machine. The film stars Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne, there they are again, and Carrie-Anne Moss. The film is a classic in every sense of the word. It holds an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes and earned $465.3 million at the box office. It was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including the 9 for Best Film Editing. Number 55, The Equalizer. After the death of his wife, a former Marine and former DIA agent vowed to change his life. Robert Bob McCall has been living a secluded life in Boston. For work, he found a job at a hardware store. In his spare time, he would read to a young lady at a diner. Alina, who is a prostitute that works for the Russian mafia. Alina is in the hospital after a beating from a pimp. McCall goes to offer him $900 to have Alina freed, but her pimp refuses. McCall kills the pimp and it sets off a chain reaction. Long story made super short for the sake of time, he subdued a bad detective who had bad people on his payroll. He kills everyone and sets up a sequel. The Equalizer stars the legendary Denzel Washington, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Bill Pullman. The film did receive mixed reviews as it holds only a 59% on Rotten Tomatoes. However, it proved to be a hit at the box office, earning nearly $200 million. Number 54, Django Unchained. If y'all can't hear by the sound of my voice, this is actually one of my favorite films of all time, period. Personally, of course. Jamie Foxx makes yet another appearance on this list of all-time greats. This time, he is the ass-kicking, vengeful Django Freeman. Django is freed by a mercenary for hire, or a dentist, Dr. King Schultz. Schultz mentors young Django, teaching him the art of bounty hunting. The two take on the winter and Django slowly becomes a skilled marksman. The two then set in motion to head to Candyland and save Django's wife. Posing as Mandingo slavers, the two infiltrate Candyland, but their cover is soon blown by Steven. Steven, who's the head house slave, warns Calvin that the two are not here for Mandingos, but for Django's wife Brumilda. Calvin threatens to kill Brumilda if the two don't give them the money. Things cool off, and Calvin further antagonizes the trio, resulting in Schultz shooting and killing him. As a result, he's killed by Calvin's bodyguard Butch. A shootout ensues and Django is captured and is sold back into slavery. After cleverly escaping his captors, he returns to Candyland and kills the remaining henchmen, freeing Brumhilda in the process. The film stars an all-star cast: the aforementioned Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, Samuel L. Jackson, Christoph Waltz, Kerry Washington, and Don Johnson. That is one hell of a list of all-stars. As of 2020, Django holds an 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. It made $425 million at the box office, It also made over 30 year-end lists in 2012. Clearly, one of the most acclaimed films of the year. It was nominated for a total of 111 awards, winning 29. 5 of those nominations were Academy Awards. Number 53, Carlito's Way. After being released on a technicality, Carlito Brigante accompanies his cousin to a drug deal. The drug deal goes bad and his cousin is killed. Carlito takes the $30,000 and invests in a nightclub and hopes to make $75 grand to leave and head to the Caribbean. But this is an Al Pacino movie, so of course, things don't go as planned. Dave Kleinfeld, who is Carlito's best friend and lawyer, steals $1 million from his client, who happens to be mafia boss Anthony Taglialucci. He's forced into breaking Taglialucci out of Rikers Island prison. Carlito, who's now a father-to-be, buys train tickets from himself and Gail. He escapes a murder attempt by the Italian mafia. Carlito has a gunfight with adversaries but is critically wounded by his former friend Pachanga. Pachanga is now working for Carlito's rivals. However, Pachanga is immediately killed by the guy he works for, Benny. He gives Gail the money and dies in the hospital thereafter. The film stars Al Pacino, Sean Milk, who came out of early retirement for this role, and Luis Guzman. As of 2020, Carlito's Way holding 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. Number 52, The Pursuit of Happiness. Resiliency is the premise of this biopic. We meet Chris Gardner in San Francisco. He invests his entire life savings in a bone density scanner. This proves to be catastrophic for him personally and financially. Although he was able to sell most of them, the timing between the selling of the merch was bad. This caused a strain on his marriage. His wife Linda leaves from New York, leaving both Chris and their son on the West Coast. Chris decides to undergo an unpaid internship with a stockbroker company. However, his bank account was garnished for unpaid income tax, leaving him with only $22 and now homeless. He and his son will spend nights in a train station bathroom. If he makes sales, then depending on how much he makes, they'll sleep in a hotel. Chris successfully completes the internship and easy living is on the horizon. The film stars the father-son duo of Will and Jaden Smith, as well as Thandie Newton. As of 2020, The Pursuit of Happiness has a 67% on Rotten Tomatoes. The film made over $300 million at the box office and earned Will Smith an Academy nomination for Best Actor. Before we continue, we would like to pause and recognize some honorable mentions. Number 51, Shrek. The first of what will be 4 installments of a well-acclaimed series. We meet Shrek, a mean and territorial ogre who inhabits a swamp. His swamp is soon ravaged by banished fairy tale creatures by Lord Farquaad. Shrek, of course, demands that the creatures find refuge elsewhere. As a result, he meets Donkey and allows him to accompany him to Dulac. Farquaad, in the meantime, sees Princess Fiona for the first time in Snow White's magical mirror. Not wanting to take on the dragon, he organizes a tournament and the winner will be sent to rescue Fiona. Shrek dominates the tournament and is chosen as Farquaad's proxy. If he successfully rescues Fiona, then the fairy tale creature will be moved. Shrek and Donkey head to the castle and are cornered by the dragon, who turns out to be a girl. The dragon falls for Donkey. After taking her against her will, Shrek confides in Donkey about how he would be treated by people because of how he looks. Fiona decides to be nicer to Shrek. After easily defeating Robin Hood's men, Shrek begins to fall in love with Fiona. When they return to Dulac, Fiona finds herself transformed into an ogre. She reveals that only a true love's kiss could break the spell. Shrek becomes resentful, and as a result, Fiona accepts Farquaad's proposal. Donkey convinces Shrek to stop the wedding. Shrek does and tells Fiona that Farquaad is only marrying her to take the crown. Angered, Farquaad ordered their execution, but Donkey and Dragon arrive just in time. Farquaad is killed, Shrek and Fiona marry, and head off to their honeymoon. This film stars Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy, and John Lithgow. As of 2020, Shrek holds an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. At the 74th Academy Awards, Shrek won the very first Best Animated Feature Award. It beat the likes of Jimmy Neutron and Monsters Inc. Do you all agree? Well, y'all should because you did vote on these on Instagram. Just saying. Anyway, if so or if not, please tell us about it in the comment section below. Yeah, we read those things and we may use a screenshot of your opinion in the next video. This concludes day 1 of 2 of uploads. Come back tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time for numbers 50 through 41. Yeah, y'all, we're officially halfway there. Enjoy night 1 of WrestleMania. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring that dang on bell to get all of our notifications. Until tomorrow afternoon, remember, Hollywood is a weird place. I'm your man, Shane Kid Walker, and this is Hollyweird TV.